Just a few days ago, Ford had an event at the Detroit Auto Show where they were going to unveil a car, and I had a sneaking suspicion it was going to be close to pretty much what they ended up launching. Yes, I wanted to believe some of the rumors about how it could be a new hypercar, or it could be another generation Ford GT, or it could be a Dakar rally car for the road, like a supercar off-roader that you could be, registered for the road. Those rumors were out there, and I'm like, what if? But really I had a sneaking suspicion that it was gonna be some kind of a Mustang with that Predator 5.2 and that Trim XM Speed dual clutch transmission, just like the previous GT500, which we'll talk about and compare and contrast a little bit. Because of all the spy videos, I guess people forgot all the spy videos that have been going around for like the last, half year around the Detroit area. There has been a camouflage Mustang with the same, in my opinion, pretty cool looking vertical rectangular quad exhaust. And it sounded 99% like this car. So you can pretty much blindfold me. And just from listening to it, I would have thought this spied Mustang was this GT500. A lot of people are not greeting this new Dark Horse SC with open arms the way they do with the GT500, even though it's practically the same car. If I were to speculate, I think it's because of the brand association. They don't really know how to park the Dark Horse SC in a catalog of cars just yet. Rather than talking about the car for what it is, a lot of people are really upset and saying stuff about, oh, they messed up by not calling it a Shelby. They messed up, Ford messed up, all this kind of stuff. And so what I've said a million times, I'm gonna say it another time, maybe I haven't really said it just yet on my channel. People need to understand how Ford Motor Company and Shelby American have worked together in the past. There is a lot of misinformation or just lack of information for some people. They don't know how it works. So they thought Ford dropped the ball. They should have made a Shelby GT350 again. They should have made a Shelby GT500, and they haven't been. What are they doing with these new names? What the heck is a Dark Horse? This is the simplest way to look at it. Shelby American is one company. Ford Motor Company is another company. Have they worked together to develop cars? A long time ago. I think with Carroll Shelby actually taking in Mustangs and modifying them, and Ford got behind those as well. Not in the way in recent times. The GT350, that GT500, this GT500 were all made by Ford Motor Company. They happen to have the name Shelby on them, and the way Ford was able to do that is licensing. Shelby had nothing to do with this. Some people would argue that on the last few years of Carroll Shelby's life before he passed away in 2012, he helped develop this car a little bit, the 2013 and 14 GT500. Honestly, on the very, very last leg of his life, was he really developing the car? No, but he knew about it and he kind of gave it his blessing. And that's cool just for the history of the, S197 GT500. But no, Shelby himself was not co-developing this. This car is well beyond his time too. So none of these were developed with Shelby. These were Ford Motor Company products, particularly SVT, which turned into Ford Performance, which is now Ford Racing, which they were again. But anyway, without getting too far into that, fully Ford cars. But they knew that people want the Shelbys. So they paid Shelby American, who knows what money it is. I'm sure only people at Ford and Shelby American know, but probably a ton of money to be able to call this a GT500, that a GT350R, or the regular GT350, this a GT500. They had to pay a lot of money. Not to get into a history lesson here, but it's the same reason the 2005 and 6 Ford GT was not called the GT40, because Ford did not own the rights to calling a car the GT40 anymore like they did in the 60s. They inquired about buying the rights back or licensing, and they wanted something north of $1 million, and they weren't going to justify that for such a low volume production car. So that being said, when people are upset that the latest Mustangs are not being called Shelby, well, it takes two to tango. Maybe Ford did want to call them Shelbys, maybe they didn't. Maybe they did, and Shelby American made the price too crazy. Full disclosure, this is all just speculative because we don't know. But another speculation is maybe Shelby American just flat out said, no, we want to make our own GT350 and GT500. Maybe not so much the GT500 because we haven't seen that yet, but they are making their own GT350. And say what you will about it, I'm not here to bash those. They're not exactly for me, if I'm being totally honest. But a lot of people don't seem to like those because it's wash, rinse, and repeat. It's another Mustang with a 5.0 and a Whipple supercharger, and then other than that, just some aesthetic cosmetic stuff, interior and exterior. But maybe Shelby American thought, we don't want you guys to carry the GT350 and GT500 and Shelby name anymore. We want to do that ourselves. So again, wrapping that up, Shelby might have just told Ford, no, you can't use our name anymore. That could have happened. Or maybe it was Ford being proud and saying, we don't want to use Shelby's name. If they're going to ask so much money for it, we can make our own future icons. Now, Ford themselves owns the rights to a lot of really cool names. Mach 1, which they just used in the last generation. What else? Boss 302, which they use in the S197. I love that car. I don't know why I don't own one yet. I definitely want a Boss 302 Laguna Seca. But anyway, they use these cool names. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they even have the Cobra name. That's not Shelby. I think that's Ford's, if I'm not mistaken. So Ford has access to some of these cool names. I could see both sides. A lot of people are saying, what the hell is a Dark Horse? And at the same time, Ford can't always necessarily live in the past because they're kind of pigeonholed to what that car is supposed to be, rather than making a new car with new rules, a new set of rules. So with that being said, I'll kind of do a full circle moment here with this story. The Dark Horse SC is a car I really like. Do I need one? Not yet anyway. I'll kind of talk about that, of why I don't. This is one reason I don't need it. But let's be honest, the Dark Horse SC, the only reason people may not like it is because they don't like the name Dark Horse. They think the name SC is weird. They want it to be called a GT500 because that just sounds so much cooler. And maybe they don't like the way it looks. But let's be totally honest. I don't care if you're not a Ford guy at all, not a Mustang guy. This is a pretty great car. The Dark Horse SC is just this plus. It's just a little bit better. If we're being completely honest here. Again, taking away the opinionated side of things, do you think it looks good? Do you like the name? That aside, it's a better version of this car. So it's obviously gonna be a cool car. I love this thing, so I'll probably like the SC as well. And so I think some of the criticism, although all of it's fair, we all can say what we want, whether it's right or wrong, but I think a lot of it is a little hypocritical in the sense that some people are saying Shelby and Ford should have never separated. Ford messed up. Ford should have called this the Shelby, the new Dark Horse SC. They should have called it GT500, even if they had the rights to, but it just would have cost a lot of money. But then other people are already complaining about the price of the Dark Horse SC, and they haven't even released the price yet. So my thing is, what if Shelby, let's just name a random number. What if Shelby American said, we'll need $3 million bucks? Maybe it's more, who knows? I have no idea. But what if Shelby American said, we're gonna need $3 million bucks for you to use the GT500 name? Well, how many GT500s would they have made? That cost would have gone added to every single GT500. So you and I would have been paying that licensing fee, not Ford. Although they paid initially, we're paying it when we buy the car. So the price would have been affected, would have been more too. I'm not saying the Dark Horse SC is gonna be cheap, but not having to pay another company for a licensing right is gonna help a little bit. How it looks, I actually like the way it looks from the side and the back quite a bit. The new exhaust, the little ducktail, I think looks awesome. The front end, definitely a little bit more boxy. To be honest, this front end took a little bit for it to grow on me. Now I love it. Some people are saying that the new Dark Horse SC looks a little Camaro-y. I kind of see that, not gonna lie. But as time goes on, I get to care a little less about how a car looks or even what the name is and how it's gonna drive. I know it's gonna drive awesome, but still, just because I have a GTD inbound and I have this, I don't need, 3 Mustangs with dual clutch transmissions in a similar power plant. So that being said, where is it gonna land between those two, or even compared to the other Mustangs in the current lineup? GTD has 815 horsepower as of now. Who knows if they're planning on modifying that for later year models. That's why I'm kind of pausing the GTD just to see if any improvements come, because I have a little bit of a suspicion that they might. But I'll be getting a GTD, and as of right now, we think that it's gonna have 815 horsepower. And this car, the outgoing GT500 that stopped being made in 2022, has 760. So a lot of people are speculating that the Dark Horse SC is going to land somewhere in the middle there. Maybe it has 800 horsepower. Maybe it has more than a GTD and they just apologize for nothing. We'll see. So I get it. I think it fills a cool space. I like the Dark Horse SC. I think most people would have liked it more if they did call it a Shelby. Maybe that wasn't up to Ford. But that's mostly it, is people know how to park this in the history of Fords. Dark Horse SC, that's just a floating name. People don't know how to put it in the catalog of Fords before it and current Fords, which is probably gonna be that car's biggest problem initially, and maybe in time, the car's just gonna be so great people forget about that, because there has to be a first of something to start that lineage, and Dark Horse is new. A lot of people don't know how to, again, categorize that, and I think if the car is good enough, it's going to survive, and no name would have saved it if it was a piece of crap anyway. I think it's gonna be a good car. And here is where I'm going to get some people probably judging me, is I'm somewhat excited for the proposition of this. Hold judgment or don't, whatever. But I don't know why. In the last few years, I became a little bit less serious of a driver. I know I'm not a professional race car driver. I'm not trying to push these cars to 10/10ths on the public road or anything. So it's more about driver involvement. That's why manuals are a lot of fun. That's why a great soundtrack is really fun from the exhaust. And so with all that being said, I've kind of liked the idea of a convertible. I know I sound like just some total fruitcake when I say that, but we haven't seen a specialty Ford Mustang convertible from Ford anyway since the 2014 GT500. This right here, the 13 and 14 500, was made as a soft top. They're pretty rare, they're pretty collectible, and that's the last time. There's never a GT350 convertible. That would have been kind of ugly, but probably pretty fun. And well, this Dark Horse SC has been spied for the last, I don't know, a few months now, close to a year or half a year maybe. And only recently, that same car with the soft top has been being spied, but Ford hasn't unveiled that. But if they make a Dark Horse SC soft top convertible, I'll be honest, it's probably gonna look a little ugly. I don't think these body styles look good with the soft top, but it would probably be such a freaking fun car to drive. There's been so many times I'm driving this thing with the windows down because the weather's nice and it pops on the upshifts. It's so fun. And I even think to myself, what if it didn't have the roof on? This thing would be so fun and unserious, and that makes it kind of fun. So I'll be honest with you, the Dark Horse SC Coupe, I don't need to buy one right now. I'm happy with my GT500. I'm still waiting on that GTD. But if they make a Dark Horse SC convertible, I know it won't look the coolest. They'll probably make me look like a little sissy girl or whatever because it's a convertible soft top Mustang. But as the drive goes, something about that soundtrack, that transmission, everything with the roof down, I think that'd be kind of cool. I might be interested in something like that. Just for me. I know that people will probably make fun of me, but that's okay. Most of what they're doing now kind of makes a lot of sense. The Dark Horse is this car. The Dark Horse SC is this car. If we go back in time, just to the previous chassis, the GT350, GT500, same kind of thing. Go back in time, Boss 302, GT500 for the S197 generation. So they always have the kind of driver tracky kind of car, and then the crazy one with the supercharger. And the Dark Horse SC is kind of doing the same thing, just with a different name. So it's really not too far off from each other. It's just the name that people don't really like, I suppose. And the prices. I know everything's getting more expensive for sure. So that's a fair point too. But while we're here and it's free to speculate, and we can just, check back on this video years down the line, see how far off I was. As far as the future of Ford, I think it was Staying Mode that straight up asked Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, will you guys be making some kind of a Boss or a Cobra or something? And immediately he started shaking his head no, which for a lot of enthusiasts is sad. And I see why. It's a little sad for me too. But we have to think about, he's saying no to the name. He's saying no that we probably won't name the cars that way, which is a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. But that doesn't mean no to future performance cars. So I'm really more concerned about what the car is, what the cars are gonna be down the line. And the Dark Horse SC just got unveiled. It's gonna be a cool car. And they have some more down the line, I'm sure. He was also asked if Ford will make a production car to compete with Corvette, and he pretty much said, well, isn't the GTD a competitor with Corvette, which is fair for that car itself, but the question was really more about a production car. And the Dark Horse SC will be comparable to Corvettes as far as price and performance to an extent on the base Corvettes, but maybe he was talking about, something to the ZR1 or something like that. Some people argue that comparison is the thief of joy. And for the most part, I agree. In the sense of, automotive rivals going at it, I don't know. I think competition will fuel better cars. So I know Ford kind of claims that they have their horse blinders on. They don't see what's going on out there, but then they do because they'll mention cars by name and be competitive, and then they don't, and then they do. So I don't know. All I hope is Ford keeps making some really cool cars. I don't know what they'll name them in the future. He also went off to say something about how they're really excited about what's to come in the off-road world. And of course, I love Raptors. Got my Ranger Raptor, beat the daylights out of the Ranger Raptor, and it is so much fun, takes it like a champ. And so I love the off-road stuff. If they make an off-road thing that's not an off-road truck, maybe some off-road car, stuff like that, I'd be really interested in that. But in the world of cars, curious what they do in the future as well. I thought it was worth discussing. In short, Dark Horse SC, I like it. I know some people don't, but it's mostly because of the looks or the name. I kind of got past that. Well, guys, that's about it for the discussion part of it. But while we're here, I guess we'll wrap up the video by doing a quick little garage tour. I haven't showed this place off since I think I bought it sometime, earlier last year. And there's still a lot I want to do to this place, but I'll flip the camera around and kind of walk you guys through it. In case you guys did see the first video, as you can see, still no mezzanine up there. I am talking to people about building one out. It's just, people are short on supplies and getting with people and, delays with holidays and whatnot. Did paint this room black and have a couple cool posters here on the walls, some canvas prints of some of the Mustangs. Still got to get some more. I don't own a Ford GT. It is my dream car, but I bought a illuminated sign. So, you know, kind of bought some things out of order there. Anyway, cool neon sign. I'll hang it up one day. Cool little kitchen area here. That's a mess. I've got some GT350R carbon fiber wheels unopened here. I found them. They're a good deal. If you guys don't know, my green 350R was part of a little sideswipe incident, but it's already repaired. I have one of the wheels here. This carbon fiber wheel was quite a bit damaged, as you can see, and I was able to make that into a table. So, you know, make something out of a bad situation, but thankfully that car's back looking good. Got a couple of glass cabinets for all the Hot Wheels and 163, 124, 118 scale stuff, all of it right here. I'll do a quick pan if you guys are into this kind of stuff. You guys can judge my collection. Don't be too mean, I'm fairly new to it. But yeah, there we go. Any single time I go to a CVS or Walgreens, I make sure I pick something up. There's that, a couple of my 118 stuff here. And then of course, same with the holiday season around Sam's and Costco, got to pick up some of the 118 stuff. But yeah, that's a little look at the garage here. But yeah, since we're here, I'll tell you what, I don't keep the keys here for obvious security reasons, but I have the keys here, and whenever I come here, sometimes it's once, twice a week, I'll start the cars up just to be healthy if I don't get to drive them enough, if I'm busy. So right now, let's go ahead and start some of the cars up. All right, open up the doors here just to get some airflow going. Start with the 2014 GT500. Those idle for a few minutes yeah, anyway, I think I'm gonna close out the video. Just kind of wanted to show you guys the place a little bit. Another update once it's, you know, more things get done to it. Anyway, it might be a while, but when the mezzanine's done, the whole garage is painted and got more things on the wall and everything, and hopefully more cars in the garage would be kind of fun. But yeah, other than that, just wanted to discuss some things. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the Dark Horse SC? Do you like how it is? What could it have been? Let me know what you guys think or what you guys wish to see from Ford, because I'm curious about it. But anyway, that does it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.